quilty friends, it's Carolina Moore, your favorite sewing and quilting YouTuber, and today we're going to do the second of our bonus mini quilt Advent 2023 projects, which is a super fun placemat. You ready? Let's get started. Hi friends, so today's project is a placemat that has little trees on it that we're making using the 6-inch quarter diamond from the 2023 mini quilt Advent. Now, if you weren't around here in 2023, welcome. We're so glad to have you. Love having new members of this community and new people in this community all the time. I do a mini quilt Advent. 2023 was the third year, and yes, we're doing one in 2024. So 2024 will be the fourth year that we do a mini quilt Advent. And the way it's been in the past is that every day for 12 days you get an envelope, and in the envelope is an acrylic template and a set of instructions to make a quilt block. And at the end of 12 days you have 12 finished quilt blocks that you can put together to make a mini quilt. Last year in 2023, I had 12 bonus patterns that you could add on so that you could make 24 blocks if you wanted. So there were two options, a 12 block and a 24 block version, so that you could make your own mini quilt using the 12 acrylic templates. And now I'm adding on for 2023's mini quilt Advent for bonus projects. These are free projects. It doesn't matter if you got the 12-day mini quilt Advent or the 4-day add-on as well. You just need to have at least the 12-day Advent, and that'll get you the acrylic templates that you need to make these 4 bonus projects that we're making here as Christmas in July projects. Okay, so the free patterns, the instructions on how to get the free patterns, the instructions on how to get the mini quilt Advents are down below. I do have a limited number, and I will not be making more of the 2023 mini quilt Advents. Once I'm out, because we are working on our 2024 mini quilt Advent, and friends, it's super cute. I can't wait. Okay, so there is a free pattern for the placemat that you can print or you can just look at online, and that's what we're going to follow. For this project, you need 3 fat quarters. So just like for last week's project, which was our little hexagon shaped mug mat or mug rug, that was 3 fat quarters, although you could have done it with 2 as we talked about. This one, you really do need 3 for this one. Actually, you need 4 if you're also going to have the backing fabric. So I'm going to start with cutting my pieces. I'm going to cut them the way that the instructions tell me to. So we're starting with green 1, which is going to be our dark green. This is what I'm using as my background fabric. I do have to be aware because it is a directional fabric. I actually have it upside down right now because it says Happy Holidays, Happy Holidays. This is a scatter print, so this one is not directional. And this one with the stockings, this one is directional and is also upside down right now. So we're going to start with this one, and I need to turn the direction. And this is my 6-inch quarter diamond. Now when you cut this, you can see on the templates that there's these etched lines. Those are your 1/4-inch markings. So we can fussy cut these if we want, depending on how we want our trees to look. So I like that shape right there. And we just need to cut out 3 of these. So with 1 fat quarter of this green, I mean, I might have enough fabric to cut even as many as 4 placemats. If I wasn't fussy cutting, I could probably even cut 6 or 8 placemats, depending on how strict I wanted to be about the directionality of the fabric. Let's see, this one will do more. So I just need 3 of these. So we'll go ahead and cut those out. There we go. And I'm going to grab my second green fabric to cut 3 more. This is my second green, and it is a scatter print, so I'm not as worried about it. But for this one, I need to turn my template the other way. So I need mirror images of the this triangle. What we're actually going to make here are half rectangle triangles. So when I designed these templates back in 2023, I was so excited about this one because I knew that it could double as a half rectangle triangle ruler in addition to being a 1/4 diamond ruler. So I need 3 all facing this way, even though it's tempting to flip this over and get another piece right here. That would be the wrong way. So you want it in this direction. Unless you are making 2 placemats, one with the dark green on one side and one with the dark green on the other side, and then you can flip back and forth and you'll be able to get a little more out of your fabric that way. Especially with this one, because you could have flipped it like this and then like this. Anyway. Oh, wait, look, I can flip it like that. I can flip it upside down. It'll get me more out of my fabric this way too. So lots of ways that you can get more out of your fabric. Once you've cut the half rectangle triangles out of your 2 green fabric, you'll want to cut the half rectangle triangles out of the background fabric, but don't do that quite yet. First, we want to cut this down to the size of the large and strippy background pieces. So the first step is to get at the width of the background, and then because this is a directional fabric, we're going to then cut the large and then the small strips that we're going to put on the top and bottom of our little trees once we're done. Now we're going to take the remainder and we are going to cut the background pieces for our half rectangle triangles, so the pieces that are going to go behind our trees. Now I messed up here and I flipped my ruler when I shouldn't have, so these are all going to end up being upside down, even though I didn't intend for them to be, and here's me figuring that out, but it'll be okay. So I set them up 3 on each side with the green triangles so that I know that they are going to be matched up. And now I'm going to line up the edge. Now you don't want to line it up point to point, because if you do that, you'll end up with a half rectangle triangle that's actually too small, because that seam allowance is going to actually reduce the height of the half rectangle triangle. Instead, you want to do what I'm doing here, which is offset it so that the point is 1/4 inch sticking out. And by the 1/4 inch, I don't actually mean the height of that point, I mean the width of that point. So you'll see I'm lining this up on my mat. So where those bottom and top triangles intersect, that's where you see it at 1/4 inch. So that's where you're going to sew your 1/4 inch seam allowance. And when you open it up, you should have a beautiful, perfect half rectangle triangle. If you've never done this before, super fun. When you put this down, where those 2 line up is where the needle will hit, if you've lined everything up right. And that'll give you beautiful half rectangle triangles. Might have been a little off on this one, we'll see. Oh, that actually looks really good. So you can go ahead and press these either open or to the side. It actually is not really going to matter on this. There we go. So you can press these open to the side. Either way will be fine. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew all the rest of these. And then we'll come back when they're all sewn and pressed. And for these ones, you can, after you press them, just go ahead and clip off your dog ears. We don't need those for any lining up or anything. So just clip everything off so that it lines up with the edges of your quilt block. Okay, so I have all of my half square or half rectangle triangles done, and now it's time to put these together to make little trees. So we're going to go ahead and do that. They're going to get paired up into a light and a dark like this, and we're going to do that all the way across our placemat here. Oh, that looks so fun. Okay, so we're just going to put these right sides together and then sew them with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then once we have them sewn together into their pairs or their little trees, then we'll sew them together to make the whole row. So it's pretty easy. And then all these seams, I'm going to press them open again because I've just been pressing open the whole time. If you're a side presser, go ahead and press the side. That's also fine. So I'll sew this first seam with you just so you can see. We're putting it underneath the machine. And then just sewing with that 1/4 inch seam allowance. These half rectangle triangles are really nothing to be afraid of, and they're so quick and easy to make. Okay, now these are all ready to press. So I'm just going to open this up and press right down the middle with all of these seams. And we didn't have to press before when we did these seams. We did have to press our half rectangle triangles, but all of these seams they're all parallel to one another, so they're not going over another. These ones aren't going over each other, so I could just do one and then the next and the next and the next, and then I can press one and then the next and the next and the next. Now if the edges of your strip are not exactly straight, somehow I got a little off kilter on mine, no big deal. I'm just going to take it over here to the cutting mat and we'll cut those edges clean. So now all we need to do is sew the top on the top and the bottom on the bottom. So I'm going to start by doing the bottom. I like doing the smaller piece on first. And if you're a pinner, it's not a terrible idea to pin here. This is a directional fabric, and while I clearly have not paid attention to which way is up and which way is down on this project so far, we're going to go ahead and try now to respect the direction of our directional fabric. So I have one done, and I'm just going to sew the top on. Again, these two seams were parallel, so I could sew them and not have to press between sewing them, but now I'm done sewing. So it's time to press everything nice and flat. Now these ones I pressed open just because I've been pressing everything else open, but because these are the last seams and there are no seams in these big pieces, it is easy enough to go ahead and just press everything towards these large pieces, and that way you're not pressing seams towards themselves on these piece trees. But there we go. Now this is ready to quilt and bind. So you can quilt and bind this just like you would quilt and bind a regular quilt, or you could do the self-binding method, which is what I did in the mug mat video last week. That one was done also with fusible fleece. So quilt and bind, you can use fusible fleece, you can use regular quilt batting. There's lots of ways to finish this, but that is your fun little placemat all done. And you can grab more fat quarters and make more placemats to have a whole table full of these super simple little half rectangle triangle tree placemats. Friends, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I definitely subscribe. We have so much more Christmas in July fun coming your way. Give this video a thumbs up. Questions or comments, leave them down below. Friends, I will see you right here real soon for more Christmas in July.